A court filing reveals an immigrant teenager was forced to accept pro-abortion representation but does not want an abortion. An immigrant teen in federal custody known as Jane Doe says she was coerced to request representation by Rochelle Garza and Miles Garza, who have represented other immigrant teens in recent abortion cases. The brief also states Doe does not want an abortion. For analysis on this story, we are joined now by our trusted pro-life expert. Marjorie Dannenfelser is president of the Susan B. Anthony List. Marjorie, good to have you here to delve into this story.
Yes.
What is going on with the abortion industry and these immigrant teenagers?
It is a truly dramatic moment that everybody needs to pay attention to. These young, undocumented minors in a desperate situation without their parents are being manipulated into situations that they can't handle. They're being offered abortions before they even want. Of course, now we're seeing one that did not want an abortion. She was manipulated into signing papers, and she had the guts to say, no, I don't want one. Look at her. She's in this negative, horrible environment. She speaks up for her child. It's certainly an example to all of us, but it is definitely a sign that we need to do something about this. And the court soon will decide this.
We'll be following that. You're drawing parallels to Norma McCorvey, who is a plaintiff in Roe v. Wade. Can you explain that?
It is really kind of amazing, Catherine. Roe v. Wade and Doe v. Bolton were the companion cases that established the abortion on demand regime. So Sandra Cano and Norma McCorvey were the women behind both of those. Both of them were manipulated into signing papers, didn't quite understand what was happening. Neither of them had an abortion. They both turned pro-life, and they spent the rest of their lives trying to undo the court decisions that bore their name. So this young woman is in that beautiful tradition. But one thing is certainly in common is as soon as the abortion manipulators are done, they leave the young girls aside and they're done with them. The pro-life movement sticks with them for life, and that's the beautiful thing about the movement versus the pro-abortion movement.
We'll really share their stories
Amen.
And what's going on there. HHS is an important department when it comes to pro-life policy, and we have another news story from the Department of HHS. HHS proposed a new rule last month clarifying and implementing a host of existing conscience laws, including non-discrimination ones. Among other requirements, the regulation orders healthcare providers to post notices of conscience protections and outline its enforcement. Marjorie, is this new HHS rule really necessary, in your opinion?
Yes, it is, not just because of the need to have it in regulations in addition to having it in the law, because without a regulation we have not had any enforcement of this law for a very long time, but also because of the reality of what's happening. We know it's not being enforced because nurses like Kathy DiCarlo was forced to reassemble the body parts of a 22-week-old aborted child against, obviously, her conscience. She came and lobbied on Capitol Hill just very recently. There's no question that it's needed from a human and a legal perspective.
When speaking about this issue, many people are shocked to hear that people could be forced against their conscience to perform an abortion. Can you provide some clarity on that? Isn't this illegal?
Well, it should be, and it is, in fact. And it's illegal for any hospital or to be forced, or individual to be forced to provide abortions or be engaged in them in any way against their conscience. But the reason that it goes on is that there have been no rule to back that up. The law speaks, but the follow-through, the executive action has not. So these violations of conscience continue. California was in direct violation of this. Their law in California is in direct violation of it, requiring involvement in abortions. So it screams for clarity, and that is why we're insisting that this happen. This is a great start. This rule is a great start. We really also think that there needs to be a private right of action put into the law so that there is a way for a woman or a man to sue when they've been forced against their conscience to do such a thing.
And is that the further action you'd like to see from the federal government?
Yeah, I think that is the next step. This first step is good. This rule must be passed. They have to hear from us because they're hearing from the other side without question. This is the great first step. Second step is to have that private right of action written into the law.
Marjorie Dannenfelser of the Susan B. Anthony List, thank you again for your clarity on these issues.
Thank you.